Hey, what's happening, everybody? This is Dealer Destro, back with another Transformer official review from Hasbro. This is not third party, just whatever, right? So what I got here is I've got the Power of the Primes Terracon set finally completed. I've been sitting on these two guys for a while, and I put up videos for both of them, so apologize if y'all watch those. You get to sit through a little bit more on these two guys. So I guess getting right in, we'll take a look at their, we're going to start with their bot modes, move to their alt modes, and finally finish the video with their final form combined mode. So who we have right here is Cutthroat, and pretty good. Pretty good. I do like these head sculpts, like whoever is on point for that, they are killing it. They are knocking it out of the park on these head sculpts. Now, with the wings, I don't know, the back of the figure, like, so here's his card, right? So that's the card art, and that looks pretty good. That looks really good. On the back, you can see that the wings are sort of out, flared out, and I'm just gonna set that down there. But if you don't want like the cape look, you can bend them back as such. You will have a little bit more sticking out on the back, but then I guess it offers a more, I don't know, cleaner, symmetric. I don't know. I mean, this doesn't look terrible in my opinion. I like the robot version on this figure. He has a Tampo Decepticon insignia. He's got some paint there, silver paint on the shoulders, and they were very generous with his lower legs to sort of break these up, and I think it looks fantastic. The apps are clean. There's not really any bleed over or anything like that, and they were even so kind enough as to put black paint on the bottom here to kind of bring out that sculpted detail there of the metal accents there. He's got some silver paint here on the talons, knees. I think that's, oh, right here on his, where his fists are, the green there. All in all, really good figure. Not really anything loose flopping around. This is the ball joint engineering. They did take the same engineering from Combiner Wars, like his legs, you know, they do the collapse in, like a lot of the car robots did from that series. He does only come with one gun accessory, which, I mean, the fact that this guy came with two, and in his alt mode you can peg them in for symmetry. I think they cut cost here, and we'll look at that a little bit more in their alt modes, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But I mean, whatever, that's more of a nitpick as it is a problem with the set. I have two problems with the set. One's with Center Twin, and then the other's with the final mode, and we'll, you know, I'll discuss those. But yeah, I mean, that's Cutthroat. He looks good. He looks good. Great articulation on the arms. Good range of motion. He does have waist swivel there. So, you know, he can, you know, you can probably crank out some very dynamic poses. This is going to be a bother to some people, as it always is. The hollow bits, whatever. I mean, I get it. It's, you got to take shortcuts, be responsible, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, you know, me, if I do have these guys in robot mode on a shelf, I'll just have them in a group sort of like this, and then I don't see it. So I'm not trying to make excuses for them, just this is the world that we live in when it comes to Transformers. Also should be noted, comes with a card showcasing the artwork, which again is top notch. You turn it around, apparently he combines with Alchemist to devise a poison that disintegrates the spark of an enemy. So there's that. So we'll set that to the side. Moving along with the set. This guy here, he is probably my favorite of the entire set. This is Blot. And accessory wise, he comes with his gun once again. I suspect because the the unit, it plugs back in here in his alt mode. And once again, I suspect due to cost savings measurements, he was only allotted 1 blaster, which he should have been 2. These guys, I think 1, 2, definitely 3 because he got 2. But him and Cutthroat should have definitely came with 2 guns, just for symmetry. And you'll see why when we talk about their alt mode. For me, it's symmetry. Anyway, great. He's got great paint apps all the way around. They're really getting their processes down, getting them refined. So I'm seeing fewer and fewer defects. Once again, head sculpt is on point. He's got a Decepticon emblem tampoed on there. He's got paint on his lower legs, the blue, the silver, he's got, that's obviously, those are painted as well. But yeah, so all in all, good articulation. Once again, the hollowed bits are going to bother some people. They're getting better with the legs on some of these guys. You know, I would strongly encourage maybe doing some flaps that pop open, let it fold in, and then close down. Because, I mean, I get it. It is unsightly. But, you know, if you're displaying in a group pose as such, you know, you won't notice it too bad. But yeah, all in all, I like what they're doing. I like the updated G1 characters. The updated engineering, you know, allows for better articulation, so on and so forth. So that's this guy. Here is his card that this is what you can expect to see when you find him hanging on your pegs. That's the back. Not really, like, these guys are wasting opportunity to write a good story because it's just, they're always asking questions like, how will so-and-so wield the power of the prime? Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, so anyway, that's what he looks like in his alt mode. So take that, set that to the side, stand him back up, and then we'll look at his card. He does come with a card, and that's nice. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I put mines in a binder. Like, I've got a big binder full of these things going all the way back to like Combiner Wars. Should also be noted, there's the instructions for him, and then I have here the instructions for Cutthroat. So what I've been doing is, because they come all like that, I've just been undoing them like this and then setting them on underneath said binders, so they start to sort of you know, expand out, take their natural form, blah blah blah. So moving on here, this is Center Twin. He's probably my least favorite of the group, just because there's some stuff with like how this folds back and whatever, and I'll show you when we get him in his alt mode. But he has a tampoed Decepticon insignia on his chest. He has another one right there on his shoulder. He does have a couple bits of silver paint apps on the sides of his arms, which look good. I mean, it breaks that up, really brings out the love that they did sculpting all this stuff. You know, and you can see that same thing on this side here. You got some silver paint, some red paint, some purple paint. It's good. And again, here's silver, red, silver, and I think they really did a phenomenal job applying this red, because painting on yellow is tough. Working with yellow paint is tough. Working with red paint is tough enough. So the fact that they got that on there as clean as they did, I think that deserves some merit for sure. He's got purple paint on his horns, red paint, silver paint on the teeth for his alt mode. But yeah, so overall, that's what the figure looks like. I think, you know, looks okay. Once again, should be noted, excellent job with the head sculpt. Should be noted too, I just noticed this, he's the only one in the group that doesn't have red eyes. That reflection that you're seeing there, that's part of, I guess it's this being reflected back onto the silver. But yeah, so all in all, really, the paint looks good on the face. Yeah, head sculpt great. He's my least favorite of the set, just because of some issues that he is plagued with. His artwork, however, is pretty fantastic. So that's what you'll expect to see when you find him on your pegs. Once again, they ask the question, how will he use the power of the primes? And that's picture of alt mode, picture of bot mode right there. Yeah. So here is his instructions, and that's what he looks like there. There's his card. Fantastic. Once again, fantastic artwork. Love what they're doing with these. It's kind of addicting. Like seeing that binder fill up, it's like rewarding, addicting, all on like the same time. And then here's Ripper Snapper once again with the group. So if you didn't see my video, we'll breeze through him real quick. Him and Blot, I think, are the best in all around figures in this set, just because of how good they articulate. You know, the engineering that went in them. He does have a couple hollow bits down here, but whatever. So yeah. So, and the weird thing about him is, since he makes use of his robot arms in alt mode, he doesn't really have the whole, I mean, unless you're looking underneath that, and yeah, but he doesn't have the problem that his comrades suffer from. So once again, paint, black, silver, red, black, silver, like this nice sort of green, yellow, green for the face. Red paint on the eyes is fantastic. Head sculpt is knocked out the park. Decepticon emblem is tampoed onto the chest. You've got red paint and then silver here across the front. Silver, yellow, red, silver, yellow, red, silver, silver, and and in Avon we're so kind as to put yellow back here. Old school G1 sticker applied or tampoed on. I apologize. I'm sorry about that. Silver paint on the side of the head in alt mode, red paint for the eyes, and they were even so kind as to paint the teeth as well as the inside of the mouth there, which great. So yeah. Oh, and he does come with 2 blasters, so kind of helps solidify my theory there. That's what he looks like on his instructions. Here's his card, and man, this thing is beat up. Like, it just somehow it just came like that in the packaging. Nothing you can do. Luck of the draw, right? So there's that, and then here is Hunger. Once again, tallest of the group. Obviously, he forms the torso of Abominus. I guess it should be noted: leg, arm, torso, and head. See what I did there? Kind of like Voltron. Unlike his subordinates, he has a ton of stickers. Sticker on both sides, actually. So you know, you lose the paint on these larger bots, which fine, whatever. The only thing that I would say is maybe they could apply these stickers a little straighter. But that's it. So head sculpt is fantastic. You've got purple paint here on the scales, back scales, or whatever these are. You've got red paint on the eyes, nothing on the teeth. And then coming back here for the Abominus torso, excellent paint apps, silver, red, silver, and then if this folds up, so then you have like the silver, yellow, blue underneath, and we'll take a look at that when when he's in combine mode. Should be noted, the Terrorcon Enigma, I think that's what that is, plugs into the back there. So that's this guy. All in all, he's got really good articulation, nice ratchets. For robot mode, they don't save him in combine mode, unfortunately, and which is odd, because that, I mean, that you would think that, and you see how there's like no play, and then you have like a little bit here. You'll see kind of how it breaks down in combine mode. So yeah, so that's it for the guys in robot mode. apologize. This is Ripper Snapper's card. This is the box that you're going to be looking for when you go to pick him up. On the back, it asks the same painful question: how will he wield the power of the primes? So there's a picture of alt mode, picture of bot mode. So there's that. This is his card, which, man, that artwork is top notch. And then here is an example of how the instructions should come, as opposed to how they come with his minions. I don't understand. There's now I'm going on a rant here. There's plenty of room to just say, hey guys, slap that on there like that. But whatever. That's me getting on my soapbox. So yeah. So we'll come back, take a look at the alt modes and then the combined modes, and we will wrap this video up. All right, so here's a group shot of these guys in beast mode, I guess, alt mode, terror mode. So I guess let's start with center twin here. So the gun pegs into his back. He's got, so his dual beast heads, they're on ball pegs here, and the joint on the jaw allows for some movement there. You can have the heads propped up looking down, or you can bring them down in sort of that defensive posture there. So you do get some articulation here and here. That's about it though. This is one solid piece, and I want to say it, no, it doesn't peg in, but there's the joint kind of locks it in place. One thing to be mindful of, and I think this is I see this as being problematic. This is my really only other major gripe with this set. His tail. Notice this pin hinge here. When you go to release the tail, if you don't apply pressure at the base, you see that? Chances are you could snap the tail right off. This kind of goes back to that weird engineering workaround that they had with Weird Wolf, where a lot of that figure was breaking on folks. I mean, mine seems to be holding up okay. There's no, I mean, as you can see, there's no stress mark on it. So, but a word of caution. Now he is able to make use of the prime armor. I'm not gonna display that, but what you can do is you can take this peg, move this down, and then peg this into the side here, and then he'll have a piece of armor on this side. So that's how he would make use of the prime armor in this mode. The paint on this figure is really, really well applied. I like that they're giving us a little bit more of that, as opposed to just stickering everything. The DCEP emblem, I think, is the only sticker that I saw on here. I could be wrong though, but yeah. So that's center twin. Moving it over here, this is what Ripper Snapper looks like in alt mode, and I like these. I like the updated figures. They look better than their G1 counterparts. They have more articulation. Engineering, that's up for debate. But the paint applications show through very well in this mode too. And the way that he would make use of the prime armor, and why I don't have it on him, I don't think it makes too much sense. You take, same as in the robot mode, you take this flap, move it down, and then you would plug it in, which I think, I don't know, I think it looks silly. I don't think it looks functional for him. However, the other two, it seems that there's more, you get a little bit more functionality and cohesiveness, so I think it makes sense on the other ones. I like that they actually put paint on the inside of his mouth in alt mode. He does, you know, his jaw does hinge as well. So this is how I will be displaying, or how I would display this guy if I were to showcase them in this mode. I'm going to leave them in combined mode. But yeah, moving on. So one thing here, this guy, he's got a ton of breakup on the lower legs, the upper legs, a little bit in there, his shoulders, the talons on his feet. You see coming in here. I mean, they showed this guy a lot of love. And the way that he makes use of the prime armor, which I think makes sense, is you have these two tabs here. And then you have these tabs sort of on this extra appendage here. And I guess on one of the thumb joints. And then it just tabs right onto his back. Now, one thing to note, the symmetry, I'm guessing they had 2 of these budgeted for, but they only gave you 1, which is kind of a bummer, but whatever, I get it costs, so just more of a gripe. I did forget to put his headpiece up. But yeah, so he also, the mouth is on a hinge, so you get that. You get a little bit of head articulation as well. He's probably my least favorite in this mode, just because he looks, I don't know, just something weird, something about that. Now, probably the best guy in the entire set, in my opinion, Old Blot. So he, like Ripper Snapper, makes use of a lot of the stuff in bot mode. However, what's interesting about him is his legs collapse on his back. He also sort of kind of makes use of the prime armor. It just rests on top of his feet here, back here. And when I say feet, I mean his feet for robot mode back here. So I thought it looked okay. It sort of helped in, see, filling that space there. So I will say that it's probably worth having this bolted on him in this mode. The paint shines through great. Again, I'm glad they're doing paint applications. Unlike his brethren, his DCEP emblem is tampoed on. And then there's the sticker 1 throwback to the G1. Also have that right there on Ripper Snapper. But yeah, I can honestly say that this guy easily is my favorite of the whole set. Once again, his gun sort of pegs into this, and the fact that there's 2 holes leads me to believe, and the symmetry, like, it would have looked really cool if he would have had an extra gun to peg in right there. So third party, if you're listening. But yeah, I think cost cutting, and I've read some of the job descriptions on Hasbro because I got curious one day and was wondering, like, well, what do their engineers have to go through? And one of the requirements on there was meeting, like, it was like the way it was worded led me to believe, like, yeah, these teams are under a lot of constraint. Like, you may want to do something, but you should be prepared to have someone come back and tell you that you can't do something. And I think that was the case, may have been the case here. But all in all, he is pretty solid. So you do get a little bit of articulation here, but again, one piece, no joints. The arms work great because he's using his arms from robot mode. I don't know that okay, so he's the only one that doesn't have any sort of like jaw gimmick or whatever. But yeah, all in all, a really, really, really solid piece. Like, If the rest of them would have been like him, whew, man. And then I don't know if any of y'all saw my hunger video, but this is him again, just for, you know, semantics of being included with the group shot and whatnot. So he has plenty of articulation for his two beast heads, 0 articulation for the foot. It's one solid piece. These are his arms and robot modes. So you do have the knee joint here, however, limited, because like it's not like you could do that. I mean, maybe you could do like, you know, something like that. But yeah, that's these guys in their alternate modes in a nutshell. So we'll come back and we'll look at combined mode and wrap this up. All right, so here I got him in combined mode, and a couple things. A, he looks good. He looks really good, actually. But the instructions say to, and I'll just take this off here. So the instructions say to display this in the front. The problem is when you do, you get very limited. Ooh, and I didn't plug those in. And maybe that's the workaround for my dilemma. Anyway, so if these were plugged in, you would only get this bit of momentum. But because I messed up and I didn't have these here, you get a little bit of extra play in the arm. However, I'm still a fan of this, having it like this for arm mode, because then I get the full. All right, hang on a sec. The fact that I don't have these plugged in is not helping me make my case. So now that it's plugged back in, if I were to display it like the instruction state, you get that. And that looks weird to me. So what I've done is I've taken it upon myself to modify the arm transformation. Follow me here, right? So if you do it like this, you get a complete, you almost get like a double elbow joint. And I like the way that he can move better. I just like it better that way. I mean, I get what the instructions state, but you know, it's at the end of the day, it's your Transformers. Play with them how you will. So anyway, so Hasbro keeps getting better, except with the leg joints. Now, having said that, for the most part, you know, he's a little wobbly, but he does hold up for the most part. The arm ratchets are great. Now, where it starts to lose itself is when if you want to do like a dynamic sort of dukes up pose with him, he can't hold his own, he crumbles under the top heaviness of his weight. So if you do decide you're going to do a dynamic pose, you're going to have to kind of lean back, and then you can get, you know, you can get some okay stuff. I like it. He's my favorite combiner team released individually thus far. You can't top Devastator. Their Devastator was amazing. And I'm hoping the same for their Predaking. But as far as the individual release goes, he's better than Volcanicus. He's more stable than Volcanicus. I mean, I think he's probably more stable than a lot of the combiners that came before him. So that's the top of the figure. Now that we've got him in this mode, the instructions also state to do that, which I don't know, I think that kind of detracts from the aesthetic that's going on here. But he does have the Terracon Enigma housed in his chest, but I will be displaying it as such. Paint apps on the head are great. Let me see how close my camera will let me zoom in here. The yellow and the purple are phenomenal. The stickers sort of come into play here, which is cool. But then the paint on the chest emblem and the crotch piece, awesome. His feet, I don't know if this is how it's supposed to go or if it's supposed to be the other way around, but I did that. I put the guns and the extra sort of appendages there, just because, you know, what combiner doesn't need more firepower? As for the guns of the arms, he doesn't have a weapon either, should be noted. He does not have, like, the weapons don't combine to form like a blaster that he can wield or anything like that. I mean, I guess he doesn't need one, but maybe, I don't know, maybe that would have been nice to have. But the guns for the arms are plugged in at the top here. So yeah. So this progression of Hasbro coming to the table with this sort of stuff and as good as it's getting. And see, that doesn't, I mean, I guess that doesn't look bad for feet. I mean, it seems to work. You know, I don't know that I'll be opting for any third-party combined accessories, but certainly if a third party wants to release these blasters, yeah, I'd be all over that. But yeah, so that's how he's going to stay. I'm going to keep him in this mode just because of how awesome it looks. And that's how he'll be displayed on my son's shelf. But I really like it. I really like how this thing came together. Look, the only thing that is wrong with this figure is these joints in these, or the ratchets in these joints need to be, I mean, if you're not going to give full weapon loadouts for the figures, at least take that and put it here. So that way, you know, your combiners don't collapse on themselves. That's the side profile view. Does sort of suffer from that same skinny torso syndrome as the other combiners and his Devastator, but from the front he looks spot on the money. And I would suggest if you see these guys hanging out on the pegs, you should scoop them up, because again, I mean, you know how this game works with Transformers. The price seems to, anyway, almost always only go up. So if you wait past retail, you risk paying more. Total dollars spent here since these two have been out for 6 months now, and these three just came out. Total, I want to say, was $94 before tax. So after tax, you're looking at well over $100. But you know, if this is your thing, if Transformers is what makes you, you know, happy, keeps you out of trouble, whatever, go for it. It's amazing. And look, I get it. Like, these things say ages 8 and up. I don't know one 8-year-old that cares about, let alone knows about, the Terracon set. Now, granted, I don't hang out with 8-year-olds, so I don't know what the discussion is among those groups. But from the various groups I'm in on Facebook, etc., I mostly see adults posting pictures of these guys. And look, let's be clear. I'm convinced we're the target audience, because this is stuff from the 80s that's been modernized with updated engineering, and this is great. Like, I can't, now that this is out, I can't even go back and look at G1 Abominus, because the thing was like a brick. This thing, you know, has elbow joints, double elbow joints, depending on how you choose to position the arms. He's got, you know, knee joints, leg joints out the wazoo. He even has, I mean, you can even swivel, right, to give him like that outward sort of like stoic stance, that postulating pose. I don't know. But yeah, it's good. And there he wants to collapse on his own weight again, which is unfortunate. But yeah, it's good. Here, I guess size wise, I'll go grab another figure and come back and show you a size comparison. Having to do things a little differently here now, since I'm trying to get this all in one shot. So I'm actually holding the camera. So size wise, there he is next to Mania King, and that's what you can expect. And I think, you know, I think that looks good. That looks amazing. He's amazing. That is what I would like to see out of a individual combiner robot going forward, with, again, just these things being a little tighter. If they can nail that, I think they found their footing, and hopefully they can get into a consistent release cadence, you know, with these big guys. So that's all for this video. Till next time, hope y'all take care, and we'll catch y'all on the flip side. Thanks for tuning in.